to the Nathan Honus Fitness Lifestyle video, and on this one it's all about, do vision boards work? And I'm actually going to give you my review of how my vision board has come reality, because you would have seen earlier on in the year, I will pop up here, I done a vision board, and what I'm going to be doing today is I'm actually going to do another review vision board showing you the comparison of the two. But as per usual, if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, hit that bell button, give it a like, and leave any comments relevant to this particular video. But let's get going with the first stage, and that is, let me pop up on the screen the vision board and the review. But just remember, how vision boards work is you kind of can visualize what's happening in the future, and there's something called manifestation, which means you kind of like imagine it in your mind. And there's something in NLP what they obviously tell you, and it's about this reticular activation system. Now how this works, it's a bit like you may have went out and bought a car one time. I certainly have. And I remember, and as soon as I bought that car, I could see them everywhere on the road. But that doesn't mean before that particular car wasn't on the road. It's just become important to my brain to spot it. And that is the reticular activation system. And that's why one of the things why you need to do this is why this is a need in order to hit your goals. Because that mind is so powerful that you'll start seeing things to hit your goal. And that's where the vision board comes in. But anyway, back to this. So as you can see on the left hand side is the actual vision board, and on the right hand side is the review. So as you can see, it's different in places, but you can see a lot of that stuff is actually come reality. But let me start from the top. Let me start with the car, being that we was on that discussion. So as you can see, I wanted to go for an eco-friendly electric car, but I actually did a video on that, which I'll pop that up actually if you want to watch that. But my reason why I didn't go for that now, and I don't feel like that wasn't the time. So I actually still went for some of the criteria what I wanted to achieve. And that is that I wanted low emissions, I wanted it to be low tax, and I also wanted to be able to, as an objective, not lose too much on the car if I choose to sell it. So that's why I went for this Mercedes, and I certainly feel that has ticked the box. So I went for the red Mercedes rather than, I think that was the Zoe, which I was going to originally go for, but it just didn't tick enough boxes for me. I would have had to charge it too much. I do too many long distance journey for that to be a reality. But when the electrics gets a bit more improved and more cost effective, that might be something for a future, mate. How about the Tesla or something like that? But that's certainly something which I'll look for maybe 3-4 years time. Let's see what happens. But yeah, I thought I'd start with that one. The next one, as you can see, I've done a little picture of a passport, and that is a Maltese passport. I've got Maltese heritage. So what I've done is I went to get a duo passport, and literally that was pretty quick. I managed to jump through some hoops because my cousin did the same. But at the moment, I'm still waiting to go to London to actually go to collect that actual passport. But that's on the cards. Hopefully that will happen early next year, but it will happen when it happens. I'm just out of my control, that one. It's when I got that message to say you can actually come down and finish off the next stage to get the passport. So on the right hand side, as you can see, is the men's health with David Beckham on the front. And unfortunately, I didn't feature men's health, but I managed to get into muscle and health and actually got quite a big article in there. Not front cover yet, but still, as you can see, when I talk about that reticular activation system, my mind strives towards that. And I've been doing some more articles, I've been connecting with lots of magazines, and I certainly think that is why I at least started writing a few articles and featuring some magazines, which is great. So that's the one what I featured on there. One for the future, hopefully I can get on that one, and hopefully down the line, I'm a step forward towards men's health. As that's that one. Another one would be, you'd see I have moved the clean eat. So on the original one, as you can see on the left hand side, it's got at the bottom right 21-day cleanse, gut cleanse, but I actually incorporated that in doing my show prep. So I achieved that, and that's why I put it next to my physique of show. which goes on to the show actually. Originally, I knew I wanted to take part in a show, whether that was running my own show or being in the show, actually being on stage. It wasn't realistic for me to run my own show. 2019, I done a really great cause, raising money for charity. It was Gorgeous Geordies, and they give people an opportunity to get on stage and sort of talk about their journey. But it just wasn't realistic to do that. So instead, I went for doing a fitness show. And as you can see, I'm wearing the Pure Elite hoodie on. They are sending me a pro hoodie, but for now, I'll wear this with pride. So actually, I've done a video on that one as well, but I actually done a whole vlog about that. So I won't go too much into that. And off the back of that, it's got ×2 because I actually did a second show, FMC. And the great news is I got to tell my story on stage. And I think that was a really good touch by them, allowing me to tell my story. And I got first place in that. Joint first, should I say, because two of us, it was a weight loss journey, Sarah, which was a great one. And obviously mine was more mentally as much as obviously physically. So yeah, that was great. Over succeeded with that one. I wasn't even going to originally do the show. I was hoping just to run a show again, but that was great. And I actually done like a little vision board, like a sort of sidetrack vision board, just for me really going into the zone of why I wanted to do the shows. So again, I can pop that right here. You can see that pop up now. So that was just a mini one. I'm not going to go too much into that, but it really did help. As you can see, I had James as a coach there. So yeah, and the next ones, let's go on to see what's next. So the book, let's talk about the book. So the good thing is, the book is pretty much written. The reason why I've held out is because I felt from doing the fitness shows, I wanted to update a little bit more. So there's a few more subjects I want to add with that, but that's going to be released definitely next year. But it's just because some of the content written was based on previous shows, but being I've just obviously up to date at that, 2021, kind of makes sense just to tweak that a little bit with some current experiences with that, because obviously the book is going to be pretty much my life in there, how I can help someone have a body to be proud of who is really busy, and obviously they just want to achieve a fit and healthy lifestyle. So that book is going to be everything about how to achieve that. So I'm really excited for that one to come out. That's well on track with that one. Next one, as you can see, there's a little piggy with money and 10%. That was for two reasons. That was to make 10% in comparison to the year before. And the other thing was to save 10%. And the good news is I've done both of them. In fact, I've saved a little bit more, which is fantastic. And I'll probably, until I get the end of the year sort of comparison, but I do know I've definitely made 10% with making as well. So that is a great achievement. So there's something to think of on the next vision board. And by the way, in the next couple of weeks, I will be doing 2022 vision board, so look out for that one. And what's left on it, let's have a look. So we've got the YouTube, which obviously I'm talking right here on. And that was, I wanted to achieve two goals. And that was get my 3,000 subscribers, which I achieved, which is great. Just went over that. And the other one was I wanted at least 2 collabs. So actually I've collabed with a lot more than that. Just a few to mention. There was Andrew Tracy, which also was on my podcast. There was James Ellis-Alexander, who was my prep coach. There was Alex Ash, which is the calisthenics. There was the twins. So I've done more than enough collabs on that one. So that was brilliant. Over succeeding that one. Oh, there is one more. And that was 6,000 public watch hours, which is, I'd only see them looking at the back. But I've achieved around about 4,000. So again, a success, not quite with a 6,000 yet, but it's progressed lovely. And next one, as you can see, there's a blob in the middle. You see on the left-hand side, it's got holiday ×2, and there's a picture of being on the beach. It didn't happen. We didn't actually go abroad. Well, we kind of did. We went to Scotland, which is obviously a part of the United Kingdom, but it's technically another country as well. So I went to Edinburgh twice. We also went to Harrogate, and we also went to the Peak District. As you can see, there was that painting which people laugh about in Edinburgh. It was actually a scorching hot day, which is very unusual in Scotland, but it was actually a really nice weekend. So it felt like we were actually abroad. But we decided to do like a sort of drawing. We found someone on the street, and obviously Sarah loved it because she looked good, but I think he'd done his best to make me look as bad as possible. So I thought that was quite funny to put in there. The Peak District, as you can see, there's a little ring next to it, because a little personal goal was I was looking to proposing, and obviously Sarah saying yes, and that happened. So I've done a video on that one as well, so I'll pop that on the screen. So again, these experiences, the good thing about the YouTube, I've shared all these, which that's a fantastic thing about YouTube, isn't it? You can share all your sort of journey along the way as well. So yeah, that was good. So I've put down all my little pictures, memories, if you like. Not all of them, obviously, just selected ones. Harrogate was interesting because I've sort of planted the seed to Sarah to give me some idea of rings. And in the Peak District with my best mate Ross and his fiancée Kelly, we actually obviously sort of worked out when I was going to propose, and that's me on one knee proposing at Chatsworth House. So that's why I put them amongst the holidays, if you like. Now, the pregnancy hasn't happened yet, but Mother Nature will take its course. That will happen when it happens. Again, all we can do is put ourselves in a position for that, but obviously, hopefully next year that will happen. Grammar and punctuation is something which I've always had to work on, and I do feel that has improved. The good thing is I've got my editor who I send my stuff to all the time before I actually post it, and it's actually got better because he corrects a lot less these days, so it must have got better, which is great. And as you can see, I said there's so much on here for me to talk to you about. So on the left was 50 plus, and there's me doing a jumping jack. That was because when I done this, we were kind of on lockdown and we're doing online sessions. And I got that up to 36. So not quite 50, but got up to 36. But now that's become more of a hybrid. So it's kind of a mixture of people come in person and also stream it online. So it's hard to reflect on that one if that's obviously going to achieve any more than getting to 50, because obviously now I'm doing it more in person. The numbers are going to be limited, so it's going to be, I have to think about that one, where I'm going to go with that, whether I just go completely offline with one thing and then do online another. I'll weigh that one up, but still really good. I don't think I would achieve that if I never put that down, because it wouldn't have strived me towards that. Instagram, well and truly overachieved. I wanted to go for 50,000 followers. I've actually got 75,000 plus. And I put 1,000 per post. Now, I wouldn't say all of them reach 1,000. Some of them go more views, especially with the reels. And some posts get over 1,000 likes. So I maybe need to be a bit more specific with that particular comment on there. But obviously, it means to me that I wanted to consistently get a lot of people engaging. And I certainly think that has happened. And any more there? Yes, there is. So what I've done is I've linked my radio presenting with my podcast, which at the moment I've had a little bit of a break. We just finished series 2, heading towards series 3. So we're going to do a little bit of rebranding of that one. But that's well and truly overachieved. So at the time, the only statistic I had was 100 plus unique listeners, which popped up on the portal. But what we got on the Spotify is there's more detail on there, because obviously the particular platform on is a part of them. So that's what I went on to them. And I've actually achieved 999% more views and listen times. So that's been absolutely smashed out of the park in comparison to what I wanted. So as you can see, with all this, I think it's clear to see that it's been super successful doing a vision board. So if this is something you're strongly thinking about doing, I would watch my first video, because I'm actually educating you how you can get it onto your desktop. I mean, it's the new way now, isn't it? We don't want bits of paper everywhere. Although it's great, I've done one before, but I found myself, it was getting in the way. It looked quite scruffy. Whereas on your desktop, you're always on it. You can put it on your phone as well. So I'd strongly recommend watching that video. And it gives you some reasons, extended reasons to what I've already covered today, why you should do a vision board. In that case, I might as well expand on that, why you should do goals. And then you want to be looking at doing goals for 2022. So now is the time to start thinking about it and maybe get it down like I've done right here, because it's so much more powerful, because again, your mind thinks in pictures and it'll make it so clear for you. Because remember, it's your unconscious mind you need to convince, not your conscious mind. So I would strongly recommend doing that straight away. But hey, that's the video completed. Hope you enjoyed this. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that bell button, give it a like, and give me a comment. Did you enjoy this sort of content and do you want to see more of this? Thank you very much, and I'll see you next Wednesday. See you later.